All right, let's get started. It's 5:05 my time here. Well, it's Pacific. I guess it's 8 o'clock Florida time, probably for Jerry over there, around 8 o'clock. So let's let's get going here. My name's Chris Carlson. Today's webinar topic is about investing in new construction duplexes, specifically with some really great financing options from those developers in Southwest Florida. We're very excited to discuss the topic because just believe there's a lot of opportunity for investors in this specific market. Not only are the underlying fundamentals really fantastic in Southwest Florida, there's great, strong employment, economic diversity. It's also, I think, worth mentioning that their state government is rather friendly to landlords and businesses, unlike some other markets, specifically here in California. I think they contrast pretty drastically. But additionally, Marshall Reddick has got some really wonderful relationships with new construction developers that are building attractive cash flowing products when you attach this particular financing. That our agent, Jerry Robinson, who's on the call, he's our local boots on the ground agent. I'll be introducing him shortly. I'll be able to cover that in finer detail. We're going to provide a few different examples today of those cash flowing new construction properties that could just be a great fit for your portfolio. Whether you're just starting out or if this is something that you're looking to 1031 exchange into, I think it's worth taking a look at. My name's Chris Carlson. Once again, I'm an advisor here at Marshall Reddick. There's just a little blurb about myself. I've been licensed for over 10 years. I've got well over 100 transactions. 500 leases under my belt and counting. Just more and more. It's hard to kind of keep track of all of it, to be honest, but there you have it. I've specialized in helping investors my whole career, whether that's doing 1031 exchanges or value add acquisitions or larger project management. I've just helped a lot of clients in multiple states, and frankly, I just really love my career. I love building wealth for the folks that I work with. And currently I invest in our mortgage fund, which we won't get into today, but it's a wonderful place to park cash and earn a really stable, low risk return. A little bit more about Marshall Reddick for those of you that might be new to our firm or this is your first webinar. I'd love to just give you a high level overview. We just aim to be a one-stop shop for real estate investors. So what does that entail? Well, we offer 4 distinct services. First is our brokerage. We've got our boots on the ground agents like Jerry, who are local to the markets that we operate in, to help our clients identify fantastic investment opportunities. Many of those are going to be off market. In 2023, we did just under 600 transactions. The vast majority of those were investor deals. And the agents in all of our markets are here to educate you about that specific market you might be interested in, analyze deals, and assist you with your acquisitions, everything from the lending to the inspection to negotiations. They're here to help you along your way with your real estate investing journey. Those of you that may have already invested, you probably know that maybe a small percentage of the workload is that acquisition. A large percentage of the workflow when you're an investor is in that property management. So we offer property management to our investor clients, and we designed it around operating the asset and optimizing the income that you receive through reducing vacancy, reducing maintenance. We do everything from tenant screening, tenant placement, lease enforcement, rent collection, accounting, maintenance coordination, and we use top of the line software like AppFolio to make that happen for our clients. Third, we've got our private lending department. So we provide loans to borrowers. Our clients are investors, so sometimes conventional lending isn't really the right fit for them. They may have 11, 12, 15 properties, and conventional is no longer something that they can get. Or maybe they're a flipper or a wholesaler or a developer where conventional lending just isn't an option for them. So we provide loans and we collect interest off of those loans. So if you are a flipper or a wholesaler or a developer listening to this call, feel free to get our rate sheet from us. But we only lend money on non-owner occupied residential real estate, and we require having a first lien position. On the flip side of that same coin, we have a mortgage fund. So you can invest in the Marshall Reddick Mortgage Fund as a capital partner to lend money in residential investments and earn a quarterly return of, well, historically, it's been a quarterly return of around 2%. I think we're tracking around 8.5% a year. It's very passive, very low risk. So kind of instead of receiving a rent check as a landlord from a tenant, you get to collect interest from a mortgage payment from a borrower. All right, so we're located in a number of states here. You'll see all of our offices. This is done with a high degree of intentionality. We've got 2,600 units under management right now in Central Texas, Houston, Nashville, Clarksville, Tennessee, and Cape Coral, Florida. We select our markets because we believe they're fantastic locations for real estate investing for many years to come. I mentioned the intentionality behind our investing. We choose our markets based off of these various factors and the criteria that we set out. So they have to have stable employment with unemployment under the national average. Vacancy has to be low, meaning there needs to be strong demand for rental housing. The economy's got to be diverse, can't be reliant upon only one employer. We don't want a Detroit where the auto manufacturing gets offshored and boom, we have an economic collapse in any market. We want to see several sectors of business in the area, such as education, government, manufacturing, tech, healthcare, and so on. Homes also really do need to be affordable. That's because we want our investors to have access to properties without massive amounts of capital being outlaid. I live here in California, and it's very expensive to purchase an investment property, not so in some of the other markets that we operate in. Additionally, we want them to be affordable because that allows for additional runway for potential appreciation. We love strong education because those folks turn into white-collar jobs. They get hired for white-collar jobs, I should say. It's a great stable base for excellent tenants with high salaries, and it tends to increase rents pretty quickly. And last but not least, we want to see excellent property managers in that area with good reviews online. We happen to provide property management in all of our markets, but there should also be competing firms, so you as the investor are not reliant on just any one property manager, and that includes us. I love showing this slide because this is just all the folks here at Marshall Reddick that make up our team. These are the folks that are working hard every single day to squeeze every last penny out of the assets that we manage and yield you the highest return. We have software engineers, we've got in-house analysts, obviously realtors, property managers, agents, just a whole marketing folks. We've got a whole bevy of people here to help you out. And these are all of our different offices photographed right here. So it's with a lot of pride that I get to show everyone that I work with. And I'd love to bring up Mr. Jerry Robinson. Jerry's a partner of mine down in Southwest Florida. He's been an essential partner with me because he's helped my clients and me understand the market and the nuances of Southwest Florida. Tons of experience, and he's really helped me get educated, not just as an agent, but also from an investment side of things. So I'll let Jerry kind of take it away and talk to you a little bit more about the local market and what opportunities that might be available for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Hi, everybody. Glad you guys could join us. I'd say tonight for me. I know it's still afternoon for you guys. I really got to get them to update that photo. This is a couple years old. All right, so yeah, I'm Jerry. I've been a licensed Florida realtor since 2015. Been in real estate since 2009. Started in the property management side of it, managing large-scale communities, everywhere between 140 doors up to the largest property we were at was just under 900. And I've had the opportunity to kind of work all through Florida with that, as well as the Eastern Seaboard all the way up as far as Delaware. So I got licensed in 2015. At the time, we were a third-party affiliate with Marshall Reddick. And so I've had the opportunity to kind of watch the company grow since then. In 2018, I became a licensed real estate instructor. Did a lot for recruiting agents into our office and kind of training and teaching them in the ways of Marshall Reddick. My real estate career has pretty much always been focused in the investment side of it. So portfolios, acquisitions, liquidation, property management has always kind of been where I've been the most comfortable. A lot of hand holding in primary, and I'm more of a numbers guy and a deals guy. So yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Let's just hop right into it here. There we go. All right, so tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about new construction duplexes that are in the area and kind of some of the deals, the forward commitments that we have been able to develop with some of the builders in the area. New construction versus resale, right? It's kind of an age-old question. Usually the market will kind of indicate which way to go. As we know, interest rates have gone up significantly since, the last 2 years, 3 years. New construction has a lot of benefits. Obviously, there's an increased cost with it, but what you look at new construction versus resale, a much lower maintenance cost, right? Everything's brand new as you take it on. So you're not taking on any issues that you may or may not know at purchase, right? Some things are hidden until they're not. So that's your surprise repairs or renovations that are needed. Typically, new construction holds its value for longer. Remember, especially in Florida, as things are built and codes develop due to, it can be hurricanes, can be whatever the case, but building code continues to be beefed up year over year. So these properties tend to fetch a higher value. Rental rates, always more on new construction properties. Right now, there's about a $300 to $400 difference between new construction and resale properties. Everyone wants new, right? So that's where you see that. They also tend to stay longer. We're usually looking at anywhere between a 4 to 6 year stay on a tenant. Whereas resale properties, especially with a flexed market, we see about 2 to 4. That turnover obviously increases your cost, right? Because you're going to have to get that property ready for another client that's coming in. So slowing that down, obviously a benefit. Like I said, a higher resale value, the appreciation as well. Newer construction properties, at least for the first 12 to 15 years, give or take, tend to appreciate better. At least the perception of it is, right? And that perception is what drives that increased value. Excuse me. So in the presentation today, I'm going to kind of roughly overview some of the things that are going on in our area. This is going to include things like the assessments, the main corridors that we're looking at a lot of development going on right now. It'll add value, but it's a bit of a headache right now, so I want to make sure I touch base on them. And then I'm going to go over some of just the market facts for us, right? So unemployment, values of properties, so forth and so on. To start that, and this is a big question for anybody looking to invest in Southwest Florida, specifically in Cape Coral. There's an assessment that's coming through the north. You'll see it in that map right there. Right now we're working through North 1 West, soon to begin North 1 East, and then it's going to start moving its way west through North 5, 6, and kind of down and through. Now, the current assessment on these properties is about $29,000. And what the assessment is it's moving from well and septic properties over to city utilities. There is a dollar for dollar increase in value on the assessment once it goes in, but this is information that should be known when we're looking to purchase a property. There's about right now, it runs out to about $29,000 for the entire assessment. That can be paid with property taxes. This obviously can affect cash flow, but we also find a lot of properties that are going to be on city utilities as well. the need for this primarily came out of the pandemic. When the pandemic started, I think a lot of people that were saying, hey, we're going to move to Florida in 15, 20 years said, well, we're all in lockdown, let's move now. And everybody came for a lot of reasons. Some of it was, right, Florida political climate played a big part in that. But honestly, I think a lot of people were just coming here, and it moved up the timeline, just did so very rapidly. And because of that, we had a massive influx of new people buying, new people renting. And this is what's kind of driven our market and is still driving our market. Year for year, since 2000, we've actually doubled in population in Cape Coral. And they're building at a rate right now of like 150 to 180 new properties every month are coming online for CO or certificate of occupancy to where it can be lived in. And they're still playing catch up to keep that going. For an investor, that's a great thing because it means there's a never-ending stream of renters that are coming in. So this is the assessment setup. The commercial corridor is kind of the new build, and you'll see here what you see is Pine Island Road, which is a direct cut through of Cape Coral. South of that line, pretty built up right now. Assessments have all gone in, and everything's there. The purpose of this corridor is to allow those that are in the north half of Cape Coral not having to drive 30 to, we're in Florida, so we go 30 to 45 minutes. That's too far to drive to go somewhere. I know in other places like I know California, I hear it a lot, and they're like, yeah, it's a two-hour drive home. We don't look at that. We try to stay 15 minutes in any direction. So that's the purpose of it, is to build all of these, restaurants and buildings and entertainment. So North Cape can enjoy that versus traveling clear across the third largest city of Florida to get to where they want to be. Traffic hasn't got too bad yet, but when it does, that's going to be that'll be a fun one. Just kind of an overview of what we're looking at here. So Cape Coral in the yellow right there, bright yellow. That is kind of our home base, and it stretches out from there, right? Right across the bridge here, you've got the city of Fort Myers. And then further out from that, you have Lehigh Acres. Lehigh has had some amazing growth, and it still continues to be, at this point, I think it's the #1 market in all of our Marshall Reddick offices for cash flow. Typically, we're looking $800 to $900 a month in cash flow on a duplex, which is almost unheard of. Going a little bit further south, a lot of people may recognize these. You're going to have Sanibel and Captiva, which is huge here, right? Great place to vacation if you guys are ever looking for a vacation spot. Sanibel's got some beautiful beaches down that way. And then a little bit further north, you're going to have, or south, sorry, you're going to have Estero and Bonita Springs. These are kind of on the further outreaches right before you get to Naples. And most people know the Naples area. A lot of money in that area. But in just this general area, we have 2 airports. We have 109 schools from elementary, middle, and high schools, colleges. And we have both public and private charter, which is a big kind of driving force for the rental market that we have here. And a dozen hospitals within that area, because it's Florida. And all right, so heading north from that location, we have Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Venice, and then a little bit higher up is Sarasota. And we work with all of these areas in regards to finding investment properties for our clients. Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, a little bit different life up there. Rents are still they're pretty solid up that way. Home values are high up there right now. But it fluctuates with everything else. All right, so all of that kind of encompasses Southwest Florida. About Sarasota to Naples is going to be where we're at, but just wondering why this is so popular here, right? Other than the weather, right? We got beautiful, fun in the sun, pretty much year round. This year, I think winter was on a Tuesday. and it dropped to about 52, and we were kind of good from there. But so other than weather, right, our unemployment rate in our market right now is about 2.4%, rather low in regards to the national average. Forbes has listed Cape Coral specifically, but Lee County as the third fastest area for job growth in the nation. With the influx of people, it's almost you have to work to not get a job in the area. Our highest sectors of employment right now are medical, construction, right, with all the new building, teaching, obviously, with that many schools in that size of an area. And of course, fun in the sun, so tourism, hospitality, hotels, restaurants, things like that, nightlife. Those are all what kind of drive our market here. Median income is 62,000. That number over the last, I'm going to say probably 3 to 4 months, may have gone up a bit. We have 47 miles of Gulf beaches, and in Cape Coral alone, there are over 400 miles of canals. Now, canals were designed into Cape Coral because they wanted everybody to have waterfront property. Some of these are going to be freshwater, some are going to be saltwater, but the idea of the canals was so everyone could pretty much fish off their back porch and have a good time enjoying the Florida lifestyle, right? Again, I've already covered the school setup in Lee County alone. This will also encompass, so 109 in there. We've also got Charlotte County and Collier County, which will provide even more schooling and opportunities in construction, medical, and tourism. So Florida's always kind of seen this growth. I think the political climate here, on top of being a very landlord-friendly state, has kind of given way to a rush of investment, right? Florida's always been a really, really nice place to invest. Population and jobs are continually growing. Our population is in Cape Coral alone. We see about 6,000 new residents each year, and we're sitting somewhere right around 212 or 213,000 just in Cape Coral, more so in Fort Myers and Lehigh. Lee County is always business friendly. It's from the idea of, and we see this a lot here. There's a lot of one of the best places to start a home base or a small business, just because of the amount of workload that's there, right? There's more demand than supply in the real estate market. Everybody wants a piece of Florida. Usually it's fun in the sun, and that can be for Airbnbs, that can be for annuals, that can be for commercial. Like it's a really, really wide range here. And so we've never really had a shortage of new investors coming into the area. Lee County each year has about 1.3 million visitors that are both domestic and foreign, and they spend on average about a $1.2 billion a year just in our local area, right? So there's still a lot of money that comes into this way. Job growth rate in Southwest Florida sits at about 6.2, and the labor force is only growing about 1.6 annually, meaning there are more jobs than workers to fill them. And so while that's always been the case, the influx of new people here has always allowed them to become gainfully employed in one of the sectors that we have here and continue to be so. GDP of Southwest Florida right now is nearly 50 billion, and it has grown about 35% over the last 10 years. Ranked by Forbes as the third best place for jobs in the US. Unemployment, again, we're still sitting in that 2.4%. So at the end of the day, it's almost a full-time job not to have gainful employment in our area. You have to intentionally try to dodge it to get away from it, because there's always something. In 2022 and in 2023, it was listed as one of the hottest housing markets in Florida. We're still growing just as fast. They're still building just as fast as they have since 2019, 2020. and there's really no stop that can be seen right now. In 2022, we were at 209,000, so we're probably over that 213 at this point. 209,000 as of 2022. One of the nation's job growth leaders is the Cape Coral Metropolitan, which will include Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Lehigh. And like I said, Cape Coral is the third largest city in Florida. It's 120 square miles that make up this area. About 65% of Cape Coral alone has been developed. So there's still a large section of Cape Coral that is under development or will be developed. Right now, they're actually going through a widening of all the major cut-throughs through North Cape to make way for new assessments, new things that are going to be coming into that area over the next 10 to 12 years. All right, so best place to start a business. Great weather, right? That's always a given here. Don't let the non-tan fool you. I enjoy it just as much as everyone else, I swear. Economic opportunity, like I said, it's very difficult not to be gainfully employed here. Low taxes in comparison to some of your other metropolitan areas. Our taxes end up running significantly lower. And then obviously the entertainment options, those are the Florida lifestyle is what it is. It's an outdoor lifestyle. It's boating, it's fishing, it's camping, it's the beach, trail running, horseback riding. That's big up in Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda. The horses, the boating, all of that is just kind of the way of life here. I've yet to make it to California. I'd love to go out there at some point because I'd like to see what like Venice Beach and all these places are kind of like, and see what kind of comparison I can provide on these webinars. We are centrally, and this is actually a really kind of awesome thing. So Lee County in itself is almost in the dead center between Orlando, Tampa on the coast, Orlando a little bit further inland, and Miami, right? So these form a triangle. We're almost in the dead center of that. So it's about equal time to get to either one of them. These are the largest metropolitan areas that are here, right? So I mean, 2 hours in any direction, I get to hit Busch Gardens, I get to hit Walt Disney World, I get to go down to Miami Beach, and it can be a day trip, and that's good, right? So another points to kind of mention here is that there's no state personal income tax, no corporate franchise tax on stocks, no state level property tax, right? We have our city and county, there's no state level, no property tax on business, and no sales tax on manufacturing machinery and equipment for anybody who's running in the industrial side down here. A little bit just into the demographics here before we get into the properties. So average household size in Southwest Florida is 4. The median age right now is 48.8 years. That is a stat that I think is underlooked a lot. Back in early 2000s, the median age of Cape Coral was 59. So we've seen almost an 11-year drop, right? And so what we're seeing, especially through Southwest Florida, is a lot of people will think this, a lot of people on the webinar is probably going to think about this too. Florida has always been considered a retirement state, right? This is where you go to retire. Cape Coral being a young city, people were buying up houses here back in the 50s and end of the 50s, early 60s, right? And these people are aging out, nursing homes, passing their houses and their estates onto their family, right? So this is what's bringing a lot of this age difference and watching the age come down, right? The fastest growing age range in our area is 25 to 34, with the fastest declining is 65 and older. Florida is losing its retirement capital of the U.S. Status as we're seeing more and more younger people. And another big one that we're seeing is a lot of, especially with the introduction of remote work, we're seeing a lot of people that have come from California, Chicago, New York, New Jersey. They're able to move here, still work remotely, and keep all of the benefits and their income and everything else that they had in these other states, right? That's helped to push the rental rates up. And it's still coming in. I get calls every day from people, New York and New Jersey, that are looking for places to rent down here. We see about a 3.7% increase in rental rates across our market. Last couple of years, it's been a lot higher than that, but not sustainable. It'll slow down, but we're usually in that 3 to 5% a year. Most popular mix right now is the 3-bedroom, 2-bath with the 2-car garage. In single family and or a multifamily, it's quickly moving to a 4-bedroom mix, predominantly because a lot of people are doing this remote work. They want an office. They need the additional space for a flex space, or sometimes up north they'd see a she shed or a man cave. But here right now, mostly it's offices. The most requested items that we typically see for a property from a rental in the area, 2-car garage, 1 to 2-car garage is needed in a duplex, typically at least a 1. Single family, always 1 or 2. Fences are a huge thing, especially as traffic increases here. Fences are always nice to have. There's a little bit of security that's perceived with that. Pools, you're in Florida. Everybody wants to be in the water. I usually don't recommend an investment with a pool unless it's a higher end property, but it does garner quite a bit in additional rent, and that the properties be pet friendly. A lot of people who develop multifamily now have understood this, so they've moved away from having carpet in all their units and moving for tile or for LVP plank flooring, stuff like that, making things that are a bit more pet friendly, and that you're not replacing carpet every time a tenant moves out. So, but everyone loves their pets here. You look at me, I've got 3 dogs, 2 cats. I just bought 6 more chickens, so we're up to 8 chickens. Got a bearded dragon, 3 turtles, and whatever the kids want next, apparently. But my floors are clean because I have no carpet. All right, so that's kind of the area in a nutshell. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about these duplexes. I know that's what everyone's kind of been waiting to hear, and then I'll let Chris take it from there to kind of work us out at that point. All right, so the duplexes that I'm getting ready to show, some of the structural features, just to kind of high level this. All of the properties that we have or that we work with, especially with this specific builder that we have a commitment with, we have impact rated windows, sliders, doors, and garage with additional supports on the garage itself. So it's steel beam reinforced. Pretty much they're gonna have to, you can throw a car at it and it'll dent it, but it won't knock it in and destroy the house. All of our truss systems are now rated at 155 mile an hour, right, to handle the wind, especially with the soffit buildup, so air can travel through under extreme stress that can come. Steel rebar reinforced foundations, cement backers in all the wet areas, which I think should have always been a thing, but it wasn't. And so when you work when you live in an area that's got a high humidity, you don't have the cement backer, and you've got hot appliances that are running, you can get a mildew buildup. Cement board helps to kind of protect the interior of the wall, so you don't see that. All of these come with architectural dimensional shingles. There's a 210 builder warranty that comes on all of these. The 2-year, pretty much kind of like a bumper to bumper warranty, and then a 10-year structural warranty in the event that anything happens to the actual structure itself. Precast sills, and you guys can read kind of the way that I am at this point, but the builder of these specific duplexes built these with the mindset of an investor. They actually keep and manage more homes, more of these duplexes than they sell, which speaks a lot for the material, right? They're not going to buy up a cheap product that they're going to have to put all their money back into. They don't expect the ones that they have coming out to the market to be that way either. Interior, it's all LVP flooring, it's all LED lighting, all granite or quartz, 42-inch shaker cabinets, all stainless steel appliances come with them. And there's a couple of things in here, and you're going to go, well, it's just little things, right? Why would that matter? So other builders that are out there right now, when you're buying a duplex or a single family home, and I'm talking national builders that we work with, I sell their properties, Christopher Allen, DR Horton, Century Complete, they're not putting blinds on the windows. They're not putting all of the fixtures that need to go into the bathrooms. So like your towel bars and your medicine cabinet, all this stuff, they don't add those things. They learned a long time ago they can take them out and the properties would still sell, so they stopped putting them. These guys, it comes pretty much out the door ready to go. Ceiling fans in the bedrooms, and instead of just a light or a switch maybe that works an outlet that has a light, these come with ceiling fans all installed. So it's less upfront when you guys are purchasing one. It's less to deal with. It comes pretty much package out the door, ready to go. Let's get it rented. The soffit lighting is a nice little touch, and it shows really, really well, especially in your dust showings. Yeah. So I mean, that's just kind of what they're putting into these properties. Aesthetics are everything, right? As an investor, you want to make sure that it's structurally sound. As a renter, they want it to be pretty. So I did this because there was this was a recent sale that happened, and I just wanted to kind of highlight the differences between what we look at on a new construction property versus a resale property. So the one on the left is one of the new constructions that we're going to be talking about right now. The one on the right is a 2000 and 2000. I want to say, I think it was 2004 that one was built. Both of them were at $599. Down payment 30% running across the board. We wanted to make things as easy as we could, right? But so down payments, the same idea. The initial repair cost, the new construction, no repair cost to put out because everything's already built in. This is a resale, so you can pretty much guarantee there's going to be something that will need to be done at that point. Closing costs, same across the board. So investment capital, a little bit different simply because of the initial repair costs. The rents that we are looking at on the duplexes for this one in Cape Coral, we'd be looking at about $43.90 in rents coming in. That's both sides. Whereas best case scenario on the other one, we're looking at about $4,000, giving us our $4,000, $43.90, so a $400 difference there. Now, on a resale property like this, we're not going to see. The average interest rate right now is about a 6.75, putting you at a mortgage payment around $27.19. With this builder that we have a forward commit with, they're paying 8 points, I believe, 7 to 8 points up front, bringing you guys to a 5.25 interest rate. So we've got a $500 difference just on the interest difference between the two, right? Taxes is going to be just about the same. Insurance going to be roughly the same, actually exactly the same. Management fees, rents are a little bit higher, so that's a little bit higher on the new construction. No HOA, no utility fee on these. These are city water and sewer, so that's on the tenant. Landscaping, figure the same across the board. At the end of the day, we look at your fixed monthly expenses, and then your monthly income, right? And this is where your cash flow is, pre your leasing fee, vacant, so forth and so on. We're looking at $813 as a gross monthly income on the new construction property versus $46 coming in on the resale. And so while the resale is still cash positive, that is a significant difference on your income. And then you also consider your depreciation, your other sides of that, the tenant staying longer. The maintenance is going to be less just as a whole shot, right? Simply because it's a new construction, that's all warrantied out, so there's no cost to that. Vacancy, 8% of rent, that's assuming you have a 2-month window of vacancy, if that's the case. And then leasing fee is going to be kind of fairly close on the other way. But look down at the bottom there, you'll see the 10-year ROI. You're looking at 14.35% with a projected profit 10-year of 282,697. On the other property, remember, we paid the exact same price on this at the top. The 10-year projected profit on these come out at about 169,545 with an 8.5% interest. You can pull that from our mortgage fund right now and kind of go from there, right? Whereas new construction, you end up having a higher return. And a big part of that has to do with the interest rate difference. All right, so a couple of properties that we have here. We have Cape Coral, and then we're going to go over Cape Coral, and we're going to go through Lehigh. Now, with the Cape Coral property, it's pretty much the same in Cape Coral as it is Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte market. They're about the same price. The taxation's about the same. Interest rates, all that kind of works across the board. A lot of these are going to be subject to availability because they do kind of move quickly as these commits come out. So I just went over the numbers on this one with what we're talking about with that other property in the Cape, right? So we're looking at 813 as a cash flow coming out monthly, 14.35%. I don't have to hit this one again, but I'm going to bring up the other side of this, which is Lehigh. So if you look, it's pretty much an identical duplex. There's a slight variation. There's like I want to say it's 100 square feet total difference just because of the offset in Lehigh. But these right now, they run between 525 and 549. Down payments, obviously less. We're looking at 175 on this one versus 197 on the Cape one. Gross rents are about the same at 4,200. Looking at that interest and kind of working our way through the same as we did before, we're looking at $1,185 in cash flow in Lehigh. Lehigh is a very cash flow driven area. All these properties are well and septic. And so while there's no utilities, we do usually recommend that owners take care of the salt service on the property. Would come out to about $70 a month on both sides of the property. So we can add that in there. We're still looking at about $1,100 a month in cash flow. Taking everything else aside and looking at the 10-year ROI, we're at 17.09% ROI. One of the best that we have currently with Marshall Reddick, and then our projected profit is 297,758 over a 10-year run. So Lehigh, we always have, they actually just CO'd, I want to say 7 of these properties. Cape Coral is a little bit harder to come by. Everybody loves the Cape. I love the Cape. I live in the Cape myself. But Cape, they tend to release less. I haven't been able to get them off of that little push. I'd love to, but Lehigh's nice, and one of the nice things about Lehigh and where that area is changing, especially if anybody's on this webinar that has purchased properties in Lehigh, there was always this idea that Lehigh was a little bit rougher because it was newer, right? It's a heavy rental area, but what we have found is because rental rates have increased so dramatically over the last 5-6 years, Naples, Collier County, Naples, which is about a 20 to 25 minute drive from Lehigh Acres, especially where a lot of these are being built, people couldn't afford the rent in Lehigh. 1 bedrooms for $3,000, $3,200 for a 1 bedroom. And when they realized, well, we can go to Lehigh, it's a 25-minute drive in the morning, right? It's 25 minutes longer, but I can save $1,000 a month in rent. It's kind of a no-brainer for a lot of people, right? So we've seen a lot of people that are coming up from Naples, Estero, Bonita Springs, and coming into Lehigh just to kind of populate. With that comes some changes. With a lot of the new constructions that are coming out there, come some changes, right? These are not tax credit properties or Section 8 properties, things like that, right? These are people that are full-on, well-qualified individuals that are renting these. And when you want better tenants, you have to have a better product. So that's kind of where we sit on these. And then I'm going to allow Chris, or I'm going to let Chris, I say allow, I'm going to let Chris kind of jump over and kind of talk over some of these other items, the metropolitan statistics and kind of what MR does, and then kind of bring us on an outro from there. But if you guys have any questions about any of these properties, feel free to write it in. Chris and I can both go through these as we look into them over the next day or so, and we'll go from there. All right, Chris, it's all yours.
Thank you, Jerry. Well, thank you for the very educational, detailed analysis as always. I learned something new when you do a presentation. What I didn't know that I learned today was that you've got 8 chickens. So I'm expecting
I have 8 chickens, yes.
I'm expecting my eggs in the mail.
Give you 3 months. They're brand new. Give me 3 months. I'll send them out.
That's wonderful. I love my fresh farm eggs. So well, I just wanted to cover some additional detail here. We're a very data-driven company at Marshall Reddick. We believe in transparency of that data. So all of our properties have the appreciation trend lines over a 40-year period, both with the actual numbers here, but if you're more of a visual, you got the graph in front of you. Additionally, we classify each and every property. So for those of you that have maybe a little bit more education in the investment world, you probably have heard of property classifications from A, B, C, or D is pretty typical what you'll hear. We have luxury through D class. We delineate those based off of the average median price point in any metropolitan area that we look at. So if we've got a $330,000 median sales price for a single family home, and we're looking at a median or a price that's listed for 300 grand, well, we've got ourselves maybe a B class. If you look at the graph here, a property that's listed between 80 and 100% will be a B class property. Each one of those classes is going to offer you different benefits. So A class is going to be more of that appreciation play, while C class is going to be a little more cash flow. B class is going to offer you right in the middle, a little appreciation, a little cash flow. And I think Jerry did a wonderful job of describing this duplex property as probably that B class, that's got that nice appreciation built in there, but also some cash flow to cover your debt, cover your expenses, and bring home a little money in your pocket each month. So take a look at that on our website. Each one of our properties will illustrate those facts. Secondly is, let's see, I lost my control there. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Property management. We offer property management in all the markets that we operate in. It's definitely worth looking at here. The fee structure that we have is very simple. It's 8% for property management. We want it so that it's a very turnkey process for you, whether you're buying resale or new construction. We want it to be a very easy transition into our management portfolio. We don't have any setup fees or maintenance coordination fees, eviction coordination fees. The idea here is we want to be making money when you're making money. We don't want to be making money when you're losing money. So we outsource all of our maintenance. We don't have in-house contractors that we're profiting off of maintenance that's occurring at your property. It's essential that we have alignment there when it comes to how we manage your property. So 8% management fee, we collect a 50% leasing fee and a 15% lease renewal fee. It's essentially everything that's involved. Feel free to jump on our website once again to take a look at that if you're considering hiring us for property management. And if you want to learn more about the wonderful world of Southwest Florida, or any of our markets for that matter, all of our properties on our website have our data packet. You can jump on our website and go to the education and learn section and download our data packet guides, or if you just click on a Southwest Florida property and scroll down a little bit, around a third of the page, you'll see a data packet PDF that's got all of the different metrics and stats in greater detail than what Jerry could have gone in today. They're about 30 pages long. Shows all the different employers, the unemployment rate, the vacancy rate, the attractions, why people would want to move there and stay there. So whenever you're thinking about investing in a market, you want to dive deep. We've got these data packets that we update every year. Obviously, markets change every year. So that's why we're keeping you up to date. We have our 2024 data packet on our website as of, I think, January. I mentioned the property ratings. Without boring y'all with the details tonight, we can guide you over to the website, and you can download the Reddick property rating ebook. I think this is just a timeless piece of information that can really help you guide your investment criteria as you try and scale your portfolio. Whether you're looking for cash flow, how to identify cash flow properties, whether you're looking for appreciation, how do you identify those, the Reddick property rating ebook is going to give you a lot of guidance there. And I think it would be remiss of me to say, please connect with us, whether it's off of Facebook or Instagram or, Yelp. If you're looking for reviews, before you jump into bed with any business, I highly recommend looking at reviews on Yelp and Google. You'll see plenty of 5-star reviews from our clients. The occasional 1-star review from a disgruntled tenant, I'll be honest, but it happens. We're in the property management and real estate business, but you try and work with tenants and with care and respect, and we want to maintain your property. So I definitely encourage you looking at our reviews. I think it's a really good way of judging, how long someone's been in the business and their reputation in the communities that they operate in. And as I mentioned, I'm an advisor here at Marshall Reddick. So I'm what does that entail? Well, first of all, if you're interested in exploring the Florida market, just want to dive deep into the world of real estate investing, I suggest reaching out to me directly to schedule a consultation call. I advise clients to consult you on your journey to build your real estate portfolio. And simply put, I do this through these free consultation calls, and I want to peel back the onion, so to speak. Everyone has different goals based on where they are at in life. I have clients that are in their 60s that are thinking more about cash flow, less about appreciation play. And I've got clients that are more my age that are a little bit more in the depreciation side of things as they build up their portfolio. I want to peel back those layers and help you develop a game plan tailored to your criteria. So after tonight's webinar, Jerry and I would just love it if you guys filled out the feedback form. Let us know if you want to connect on a call. Thanks again for coming out tonight, everyone. And we definitely hope you learned something from tonight's webinar. And we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Thanks,